Cancers, welcome to your your love reading for April 2020. If it resonates, please consider a personal reading. My email is below. Just send me an email and we can go ahead and work that out. Otherwise, let's get to your reading, Cancer. So, Holy Spirit, angels, divine guides, universe, can you please provide your truth, your wisdom, your clarity, and your insight for Cancers? Cancers, love energies for April 2020. What do you see? What do they need to know to reach their higher ground, become closer to universe and closer to divine? Any messages that you have for Cancer regarding love energies for their greater good for April 2020 would be greatly appreciated. And we thank you. What do you see? What do they need to know? What do Cancers need to know in regards to love for April 2020? Can you please show me the energies they passed out of, love energies they passed out of prior to April 2020. We have the Chariot card reverse, which is your card. I will be leaving a link below, a Vimeo link below for what your love interest is thinking or feeling. Whether it's a crush, a current, or an ex, and included in that link, in that reading will be a card for something you do not know about them. Death card in the upright for April 2020 for you guys. Check out my 2020 Sun Moon readings in my playlist. Check out my 2019s that are also in there. See if they rang true for you last year. And then we end on the King of Pentacles as you move out of April into May. Like, share, subscribe, and or donate. Ask me a question on Instant Go. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Insta. Otherwise, let's see what's going on. So, excuse me. Coughing. Okay. So, we start off with the Chariot card in reverse, and what I'm getting from this is you're in a relationship of some sort, you're trying to make something happen, and it's not happening the way you want it to, okay? You want a certain goal, you want a certain outcome, or you wanted, because I'm talking prior to April, you wanted a certain goal, you wanted a certain outcome with a person, you wanted things to happen a certain way, and they're not happening that way. There's an inability for you to get there. Not only is there an inability for you to get there, you don't feel like you could do anything about it. You don't have any control over it, or you can't kind of steer it the sort of way you want it to go. So you almost feel like kind of giving up prior to April in regards to this, whatever this love situation is. And give up you may very well. Sorry about that. So we have the Death card here in the upright. So I guess you do give up. You just decide to walk away from it. It's not working out for you. You realize there's really nothing to be had here. You've done everything that you can do. You decide to end it. You decide it's not healthy for you, which is actually a good thing a lot of times. Why stay in something that's not working for you? You're trying to force, because that's not the way, healthy love kind of works. So you decide I'm done. I'm over with it. You're going to purge, you're going to break from this. And usually with the Death card, it's you burn it down to the ground so you can kind of move on. Fresh start so that you can, either a fresh start for yourself, a rebirth for yourself, so you can go out and find the best version of yourself, or not best version for you, okay? Or maybe you're just going to choose yourself, but I feel like you just decided this relationship had to end. It was a major ending. It wasn't anything like, hey, let's shake our hands and go separate ways, remain amicable. It's like, no, this isn't working. Irreconcilable differences. We need to go our separate ways. We don't need to talk to each other. There's nothing left to talk about. See in another lifetime kind of separation. So I see you here. Now this can go one of two ways. We'll see how it goes when the clarifier goes. When I pull the clarifiers. But I've been having a lot of problems speaking lately. You just had to bear with me. It's trying times. I'm sure you understand. Very stressful this time of with everything that's going on. Okay. So I don't know. I usually don't get this for the King of Pentacles, but I get lamenting. Because of how his face is looking, obviously, and he's sitting there petting his bull. This could be the other person. The other person, if they're an earth sign, even more so. They're kind of lamenting, but I feel like there's this lamentation, if that's even a word, that you guys did have to go your separate ways. Regrets after the fact. Other than that, to me, it's just kind of being, it's still pretty solid, pretty much having everything that you need, being very secure, being very, having to do what you have to do in a practical sense. And I feel like that's part of it, kind of, feeling sorrowful or kind of like it is what it is kind of deal. I had to kind of take charge and do the practical thing, because that's what I did. I have to take charge and kind of do the mature thing, because it's a king. Kings are usually mature. And, you know, kings are also very, like, the King of Pentacles will make very decisions that are shrewd, that are, you know, needed. And very cool in regards to doing so, but I almost feel like behind the scenes you're hurting from this, but I don't feel like you want to let the other person know. It could be the other person also kind of feeling this, but you have everything you need at this time in regards to a practical sense. I feel like for some of you actually kept the house or the apartment, you know, so you're living well, you have everything you need, bills are getting paid, but that's not enough to kind of fill the void from what you were kind of hoping that this would be. And you'll start feeling this around, you know, the end of April going into May. Why is the Chariot card here in the upright? Who's this person? What's this energy? But I mean, you know, bravo to you for doing what you had to do, seeing, not staying in something for longer than you needed to, because, you know, what would have been the point? So it seems like you almost came to the realization and said, I'm out of here. Why is the Chariot card here in reverse? Who's this person? Which I'm sure is really hard for you guys to do too. I mean, you are sensitive people by nature. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff about this situation. It's just keeping you awake at night. A lot of angst, anxiety, trying to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to go about doing it, what's the best way to go about doing it. That's what you were kind of thinking about, and that was the stuff that was really kind of keeping you awake at night. Not knowing what to do, how to do it, knowing that you didn't want to do this, but you had to kind of figure this out, because it wasn't working out. Everything kind of turned around. It might have been even suddenly, all of a sudden, the whole situation just changed for the worse. And I think that was what kind of tipped the scales for you. And again, it's almost like you're throwing your hands up in the air saying, you know, I don't have any control over this. This has to change. You don't want it to change. You're resistant to it, but you realize it's necessary, because it's just going to continue on this way if nothing is done at all. There's really no hope at this point. So, I mean, it takes a strong person to make that realization. It takes a strong person to kind of forge ahead and be the strong one to make the decision. So we have the Hierophant here in reverse, which is the card of Taurus. Again, this is not the commitment you want. You kind of want to break out of this. You wanted to do something, you know, I'm trying to talk in the past tense because it's prior to April, but you wanted to do things differently. You don't want to be in this relationship anymore. You don't want to be in the confines of the expectation, or you didn't want to be in the confines of the expectations of this relationship. You didn't agree with how it was going, or and it really kind of needed like a whole overhaul, a restructure that either you didn't feel could be done, or you didn't want to do the work, you know, because it was beyond hope at this point. It was beyond fixable. Okay, so somebody had to be realistic here, and I feel like that person had to be you. Why is the Death card here in the upright? Who's this person? What's this energy? Additional messages for the Death card in the upright. For Cancers? That was a weird shuffle. Okay, I feel like the other person does not want to let go. I think that's what made it so hard. They don't want to let go. They want to hold on to you for dear life. It's you realize though it has to stop. And you kind of see the other person, and you kind of say to them, or you might say to them, but you kind of look at them and you know that they're holding on to it for the wrong reasons. It's just because they're scared, or they're just worried about what it's going to be like, you know, without you in their life. And we have the Hermit card here in reverse, which is the card of Virgo. So they're holding on for dear life because they don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be, you know, they feel like you're cutting them off, and they're afraid they're going to be isolated. And I mean, they're definitely, you know, they don't want this to happen. Okay, I feel like you're having to be very firm with this, and this is what makes it such a hard ending, because I don't feel like I don't feel like they want to let go of you. Additionally, they are trying to say, can't we make this work? You know, I know we can try this, we can try that, maybe we could do this. And they're really not hearing what you're saying, because they're so kind of stuck in their ideal of how they think it should be, or their hope, or whatever. So they're not really listening to you and kind of what you want, and even respecting that, because they keep on saying, no, we can do this, I know we can, we just have to work really hard, where you're kind of saying, no matter how, there's nothing here to work on. And they don't seem to hear you, and I feel like that's what made the moving away from this, very problematic. And it's funny because the King of Pentacles is a very strong energy. So, I mean, sometimes the person, we get a lot of people who are like, oh, I got dumped, how dare they, and they make the dumpers feel like the dumpers don't have any feelings, like the dumpers are the worst people in the world. And they totally don't even realize that people who dump other people are the ones that do the breakup. They're sorrowful too. They have sorrow because things didn't work out. Just because they're the ones that stepped up and took the action and didn't want to, feed a dying animal. It doesn't mean that they don't have sorrow and that they weren't hoping that things would be better. Why is the King of Pentacles here in the upright? Who's this person? What's this energy? Why is this King of Pentacles here for Cancers as they move out of April into... Yeah, and I feel like you guys can see clearly that there's something else out there for you. I mean, you know that this had to end, but you're being very practical and you're being very reasonable and you're looking at the nuts and bolts of this, and you know that you will have a committed relationship with somebody else at another time when it's ready and when it's meant to be. And then when it does happen, it's going to be, a love that's actually going to work, okay? Something where the cogs are actually working and things are working out. And you're doing the right thing, even though you're lamenting it. We have the King of Swords here, and you're saying, I really did the best thing for everybody involved. I took the initiative based on what I thought the wisest thing to do was, the smartest thing to do. I took my feelings out of it. I mean, for any of you that are feeling sorrowful about what you did, pat yourselves on the back, because I really feel like this was a very difficult thing for you guys to do, and you went ahead and you did it. I mean, taking your heart out of the equation, or taking your hearts out of the equation, is not an easy feat for you. Objectivity, not having your emotions kind of feed into this is not an easy feat for you. Okay, but the other person is still feeling like you kind of did something to them. Okay, they're feeling like you, out of April into May, they're going to be feeling like you took something from them and like you won and you were victorious and you were being unfair, and you're the victor, and that what you did was kind of crappy. It doesn't matter. I don't feel like this could have ended well no matter how you did it. So, I mean, if you're carrying around that baggage and that worries, did I handle this right or whatever? Yeah, you did. I mean, obviously they're not going to be happy with it because you're the one that initiated it. So, I mean, you have a right to your feelings too, and feeling sadly, and you can't really control how they feel about it or what they kind of think about the situation. Know that you ultimately did the right thing, okay? Because the King of Swords is people come to him for advice because he's very sage. So, I mean, you did the right thing in doing this, okay? Cross watchers probably aren't going to want to like to hear that, but it is what it is. If this resonates, consider a personal reading. Send me an email. We can work that out. Click on the link below for what your love interest is thinking and feeling, whether it's a crush, current ex, soon-to-be ex, and then it will also tell you something you do not know about that person. Check out my 2020 Sun Moon readings and my 2019s that are in my playlist. Like, share, subscribe, and or donate. Otherwise, adios from Veronica Garnett. Bye.